Hi guys. So we've got something a little different to what I usually make to show you today. A few months ago, one of the girls on Facebook, her name is JD. You've probably heard me mention her before. Well, nickname is JD. It's Uni Desiree, and I'll put the link to her YouTube channel in the description box below. She made a few faith journals and they were really, really pretty. And I said, I've never made a faith journal, so I might, you've inspired me to make one. And so that was months ago. Anyway, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started one and I made the cover and then I put it aside. I've always got 100 projects going at once, and I've decided I'll finish a few projects that I've got partially started since I've kind of been out of action with my hand. And so I finally finished this little journal today. And it's a little different to what I suppose you'd normally see for a faith journal. It is a junk journal. I don't know the proper name, maybe faith or prayer journal or something, but it can be used as just a regular junk journal. It doesn't have to be faith-based. Anyway, it's a hardcover journal and I've varnished the front. This is a picture underneath that I found in an art book, and it was a vintage art book, and the picture was really beautiful, but it was black and white. So what I was going for was a book that kind of looked like an old style Bible, I suppose. And so I've just sewed the cover black and I've put the image down and I've inked and coloured it with a little bit of acrylic, but mostly distress ink, just to try and get a sepia tone, like a really old photo is what I was going for. And so that's how it turned out. I love this picture. Just really, really beautiful. So that's a picture of a painting from the 15th century. Really, really gorgeous. But I've done the edging with some Inca gold. That's actually under the varnish, so the varnish is on top, so it won't come off. So it's quite, sturdy. And I really love the way it came out. Sorry, it looks really shiny and glary on camera, but it's not that shiny. It is a gloss finish because I didn't want to dull down the Inca gold or the image on the front too much, but it is a gloss finish, but it's not as shiny as it looks on camera. So there are the edges. It's got 2 signatures. And I really love how it came out. Now this one I didn't put a closure. I usually always put a closure because I make my journals too fat. And this time I decided I don't want a closure because I want it to look, if you just sit it there, like an old style book or Bible. So I was originally going to put 3 signatures, but then I knew I would make it too fat and I'd need to add a closure. So I didn't. I put 2 signatures to keep it thin, so it actually sits very flat. It doesn't have the open crocodile mouth like I usually have. And anyway, I'll quickly show you. I've put 2 little dangles down here. One is a little bead. I don't know if you can see that. Let me turn it towards the light. So one is a little glass bead, and the other one is just a little love heart. That orange isn't as bright. It's actually a really dark copper orange in real life. Okay, and that's it from the side. Tops, bottom. The inside cover, I didn't put a pocket there. I wanted it to be just a plain opening. So This is actually some thick wrapping paper that I had, a sheet of it from I don't know where, but really pretty angel pictures. This is some fabric and just coffee dyed paper. So I'm not going to go into too much because I think a faith or prayer journal, it's a very personal thing, and it's really what you make of it. So when you have a faith journal, it's really, really personal to you, and so it really needs to be in your style. So I've tried to keep it quite plain and unembellished because you really want to make it your own. And I don't know, I don't want to give it too much of a story because I think the story is really for you to write as you feel it. So I'll just really kind of show the pictures. I will say a lot of these pictures, there's 2 books I used, and they were art journals, predominantly from the 15th century style medieval, sorry, not medieval, Gothic style art, which is the style I really love. That's one of the pictures. Really beautiful. So much detail in there. That's some hymnal paper. That's just a little writing page. I love this picture. It's really beautiful. Coffee dyed doily. Oops. Sorry, I can't do this with one hand. It's a really beautiful image as well. Sorry about the glare. The light's right behind me. I usually put a pocket in the center of my signatures to hide the stitching, but this was such a beautiful picture. This was also a painting, and it's such a beautiful picture that I didn't want to cover it. And that's what it's about. So lots of room for writing and to make your own. It's a little Filofax card. Oh, this paper clip. I will replace it with a paper clip that I made. This was just a brooch, and it's just a picture of, it's metal, and it's a picture of Mary MacKillop. If you're not Australian, I don't know if you'd know who she was, but she was a nun that was later declared a saint. So I took the little back off, I took the back off the brooch, and I've glued it down with some metal glue just to make a little paper clip, which I'll replace it there. I just haven't put it on yet because it's still drying. I like to leave it overnight. Some of these images, sometimes from that art period, they can be quite confronting. So I've tried not to put anything that's too, I don't know, I suppose sad, or, I don't know, you know what I mean. This is an envelope. Actually, this is an envelope that Karen Munro gave me. The same with this paperwork in a rack. You might have seen the video a week or so ago. Really pretty paper. And I've just put that in there because I tried to keep this journal quite neutral. And yeah, you know, it's very, I suppose you might think it's a bit dark, but I just popped that in to put a little pop of colour. What's a little tag? This was off the, it's cardboard. It was off the cover of a, it was a religious book on friendship, I think it was, and so I've put that in there because I think it's really beautiful. That's just a little pocket with a piece of doily and some buttons. And in there, just got a little, this one, actually this is the same as back there. You might have seen this little guy. I don't know if some people may have a problem with it, but this was a little Bible that I found in a curbside cleanup. Someone had thrown it out and it was completely falling apart. The whole spine was detached. There were pages missing. About a third of the little book was missing. But it was so beautiful, and it was really old. And I couldn't believe someone, I don't know, I find it a bit disrespectful to throw it in the bin. So I thought I would save his little life and give him a new life in some journals. And all I've done is stitch a little piece of paper in the middle, and I thought you could write, I don't know, something in there, personal, a little prayer, I don't know, a dream or something, a feeling, and I'll just stitch down the side just to make little booklets. And I know some people may not like the idea of Bible pages being used in a junk journal, but for me, I would rather this form part of someone's treasured memories than go in the bin. It would have ended up in landfill with all other rubbish, and it was such a gorgeous little old Bible that I really wanted to give it another life. So I suppose it's one of those things that it's a decision you have to make yourself, whether you're for using Bibles in junk journals or not. Me personally, I would rather it continue to live on than go in a hole in the ground with rubbish, because it's not rubbish. It was a beautiful little Bible. So you'll see there's quite a gap between the two signatures, and that's so you can, wanted to give it room to grow. I could have fit 3 signatures into this journal, but I didn't want to make it fat. I really want you to fill it up with your own memories or artwork or thoughts or prayers, whatever you decide to use it for. So here I've got a little clip. Isn't that cute? They're little rose-coloured clips. Really beautiful. This is one of the very few craft supplies I've ever actually bought, and I got these from Target. Just because of the colour, they were so beautiful. This was also from Munro. I just thought it was really beautiful. And that clip is holding something on both sides. On this side, I've just got a little coffee dyed bag, and in there I've put quite a few. They're all stuck, of course. Okay. I've put a whole bunch of these little mini envelopes that I make out of scrap papers, all different little sizes. And the reason I've put those in there, aren't they cute? I've put those in there with the thought of, you can write something personal to you, you know, each week or something, and put it somewhere in your journal, or give it to somebody, or I'm not sure, but I just thought it was really cute to put in there, and I can just imagine them, you know, scattered throughout the book in pockets or glued down to pages, and just with little thoughts written on them because they're tiny. Oops. That's some grid paper. It's also another really beautiful picture. Look at that. Imagine someone painted this. There's so much detail. I really love the fine arts, and you know, even in the background, all the detail, like the wall, the shadows on the wall, and just beautiful. Oop, there's Clive scratching at my door. I shut the door because he kept jumping up here and knocking my camera off. This is about the 4th time I've tried to film. This picture, this was just a little picture that was sent to me by Melody Peck. As a little thing, she sent a little thank you letter. I did a video on it a few weeks ago. Just thought it was really, really pretty. And some writing paper. This is actually a little scrap of coffee dyed wedding dress. Little pocket there, coffee dyed paper, just made into a little tag. That's a image out of a stamp catalogue. Excuse me, I have to let Clive in. You opened the door for her and she just sits in the doorway. He. We always say she because we thought he was a girl when we brought him home. this image. This was actually out of, it was like a Bible study book, and I thought that image was really beautiful. Like, he's so at peace, even though he was living a life of hardship. I think that's one of the photos that, you know, if you're a photographer, you look back on your portfolio and you're really, really proud to have captured that image. Here he comes to bomb my video. Okay, this is the center of the second signature. And inside, I've done what I usually do. I've just put some little scraps of the offcuts of the paper. Get out, Clive. Oh my goodness, I don't want to film a fifth time. So they're just little scraps, and I thought you can use them for something, to write little notes and stuff on them. And look at this image with the two angels. So beautiful. I'd love to be able to paint like that. He's purring so loud and kissing everything. Okay, I've got to make this quick because I know he's going to knock my camera over again. These are just some little words out of a really old, it's like a religious encyclopedia. And I've backed them onto coffee dyed paper. Just to make little journal cards. A little bird stamp. I usually cover these pages, just the ones with plain text, but I've left it so that you can maybe mount a photo or something on it. And the back I've left plain as well. And the back is just plain as well. Okay, so that's my little journal. I hope you like it. I'll put the size and dimensions and number of pages and everything. This is going into my Etsy shop sometime shortly after this video is posted. So I'll put the dimensions and number of pages and everything in the Etsy description. And that's it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.